Okay, oh my goodness. Yep, that front wheel is ready to come right off. Yes, sir. That front wheel is lifting off the ground like a freaking rocket, bro.
This is the brand new wired Raven running a 72 volt, 5,000 watt plus 45 mile an hour Hentag steel reinforced geared hub motor with Samsung 50S battery cells, you know, the high discharge ones.
Like, whoa, my God, dude, that's crazy.
This thing is going to be absolutely bad to the bone, bro. It's basically bringing the wired Scout platform down to 20-inch wheels, so we're going to get more torque in a smaller form factor bike. And as you may or may not know, this is one of the most highly anticipated bikes of the entire year. Oh yeah, we have the wired Viper over there too. That review is coming next. This is like the little brother to the wired Viper. MSRP is $2,799. If you scan this QR code up here or use my link down below the video, it will automatically activate a $100 discount code off this bike or any wired e-bike if you do decide a wired bike is right for you. So let's check out the new wired Raven and see what it's all about and how it performs.
And notice the American flag on the box. Wired is an American-based company out of Chicago. And here's what it looks like when you get out of the box and the packaging removed. And the main differentiating feature on this bike compared to all the other wired bikes we've seen so far is these are 20-inch tall wheels instead of the 26-inch tall wheels. This brings the whole bike a lot lower to the ground, and it's gonna give us stronger acceleration compared to a 26-inch wheel, and it should make it feel a lot more nimble. So it's running this kind of tread, similar to what we've seen on other wired bikes. These tires are cool ride, thick spokes, and big 203 millimeter Gemma hydraulic brakes with a through axle that's gonna secure onto the RST guide fork, of course running closed dropouts, and a through axle for this front wheel to securely mount on and latch down. So it makes it easy to take the front wheel off if you need to with no tools. And right away, I can tell this bike is much smaller than the old 26-inch tall bikes. All right, so check it out. This is a dual battery e-bike, and this is one of the most significant, important things about buying an e-bike, and one of the best things about wired e-bikes in particular. So this is the rear battery, and this is the main frame battery. And let's take a closer look at this and what makes it special. Wired is running Samsung 50S cells in their battery packs. 50S is high discharge battery cells. Compared to like a 50G that you might see in some other bikes, these things can output significant current. So if you're looking for the ultimate in power, 50S cells are the ones you want to have. If we do a quick little comparison of Samsung 50S versus Samsung 50G, you can see the other ones do about 10 amps continuous. These can do over 2.5s as much current. And as you may or may not know, there's a ton of companies out there with outrageous power claims on their rear motors. But what some of those other companies don't tell you is what kind of cells they're running in their battery pack and how strong the controller is. Because ultimately, how much power gets sent to that rear motor is 100% dependent on how strong the controller is, how much power the controller can pull from the battery pack and send back to that motor. Ultimately, the bottleneck for most e-bikes is the battery pack. It's why batteries are so darn expensive if you want a high quality and high discharge one. And you know, wired bikes are a little bit more expensive than a lot of the competition, but it's definitely a buy once, cry once kind of bike. You're getting quality cells and true power, as we're about to see here soon. So the main battery pack is the 72 volt 20 amp hour with 1440 watt hours of energy. And then on top of that, we have the rear rack battery, which is slightly smaller in capacity at 1080 watt hours, 72 volt 15 amp hour. Also running the same 50S high discharge cells from Samsung. Also, these batteries are certified to UL 2271 by SGS. So these are high discharge and safe. And on the rear of this bike, of course, wired is running none other than the proprietary Hentag steel reinforced geared hub motor capable of outputting some tremendous power. And on the webpage, it says Wired has sole exclusivity on the most powerful production geared hub motor in the world. They're pretty conservative on their marketing. As mentioned in previous videos, they say 2,000 watts nominal and 5,000 watts peak. It's running the 4-piston Gemma hydraulic brakes. And for stopping power in the rear, it also has a 203 millimeter rotor. And look at the beast mode size of the connections that wired runs for that big current. And housed in that box down there is the Patriot 65 amp controller. It's an exclusive controller that wired runs, and if it's anything like what we've seen on their previous bikes, we already know what we're in store for. And of course, it is a full suspension e-bike running an air shock on the rear, the D&M A08RC, sitting on that 4-bar linkage. It's got all the same adjustments as we've seen in the past. You can set the compression to open, middle, or lock it out. Then the red dial can adjust the rebound, and then your most significant adjustment is the actual air. You can adjust the air in here, right here. All you need is a shock pump to adjust that. So, you know, the bike's largely the same what we've seen in the past from Wired. The seat does appear to be a little different, actually. It feels pretty soft. I don't recall seeing this one on previous Wired bikes, but actually looks quite nice. Definitely feeling soft. If you order the white one, you get white touch-up paint. There is one other color available in this bike, linked below. Here's the other stuff included in the box. So, of course, one of the main features of this bike is it is shorter, lower to the ground, more nimble. So it has the step-through frame. I do have the seat on minimum, as you may or may not know. I am a giraffe, 6'5", and here's what I look like on the bike with the seat all the way down on minimum. Yes, that seat is indeed softer. So obviously a much shorter rider can fit on this bike compared to the 26-inch tall fat tire e-bikes. And the bike does ship with 2 seat posts. It's got a long one and a short one. The short one is what comes installed. So the shorty comes up to about here, which is obviously gonna be too short for me, but I actually love these 20-inch wheel ones because they feel so playful and nimble. I'm gonna have to put this seat post on. There we go. So with the tall seat post on, hopping aboard. There we go, baby. So as a tall rider, if you're looking for the full pedal stroke, probably go for the 26-inch versions. But if you want the short, playful, nimble feel. All right, so let's see how much this thing weighs. With no batteries on the bike, I'm gonna pick this up. That is the plan. And be a little bit of weight. Yep. Scale says 292. Subtract my weight of 192. So 100 pounds for the bike with no batteries, but there is something significant about that. I'm gonna tell you in a minute. So if you put the main battery on, you're gonna increase the weight of the bike up to 119 because that battery is 19 pounds. And then the rear rack battery weighs in at 17.6 for the rear battery. So with both batteries on, the bike would come out to about 136.6 pounds. But as you may or may not know, it's not always so much about the absolute weight of the bike, but kind of how the bike wears the weight. This battery goes here. So since this bike is on 20-inch wheels, all the weight is actually a lot lower to the ground compared to the 26-inch fat tire e-bikes. So with just one battery on there, this thing feels quite maneuverable and nimble, and like it doesn't feel like it weighs 119, 120 pounds really, since the weight is down lower. But we still got one more battery to put on, the rear rack battery, and this one just slides on and clicks in place. You don't need to lock it on with a key or anything. It's locked on there. You don't need to remember to lock it. It just auto locks, but it does have keys to remove both batteries, obviously. Oh, and now might be a good time to mention the bike does come with 2 chargers, just like all the other Wired bikes. And these are each 3.5 amp output chargers. So about 5.5 to 6 hours to charge the front battery from empty to full, and then around 5 hours to charge the rear one. But you can charge both at the same time. And now with the rear rack battery on there, you can tell a little bit more weight is added to the bike. But again, on the 20-inch wheels, like, you know, it feels actually fairly maneuverable and nimble-ish relative to a 26-inch fat tire e-bike. Suspension on the rear, feeling nice. Oh yeah, it does have adjustments on this front suspension. I think I forgot to show you. I actually like that it does not have a dual crown fork on the front because it allows you to turn the wheel real far. Here's a look at the other side of this bike. It is running a 56-tooth chain ring on the front for high-speed pedaling. It's got the double wall guard on there to help keep it on. And it's running a Shimano Acera derailleur on the rear. It's got the derailleur guard installed on the Wired Raven. 7 gears on the rear, big old granny gear. On this side we can see the Wired branding on the motor a little better. Here's a look at the rear rack, and there is a place to mount a basket on the front. Look at these. So let's take a look at the cockpit. We do have turn signals on this bike. Here's all the buttons, turn it on, off. We got a bell, ergonomic grips, and it's running the quarter twist throttle with Gamma hydraulic brakes. Of course, the same old riser bars. And on the bottom side of the controls, there is a USB-C port to charge your cell phone. Let's power this thing on. Hold that button. Greeted with the wired Ebikes display. Basically, you know, what we've seen before, all the good stuff on there, including motor power, temperature of the motor. I charged the batteries up to 100%. Looks like we're sitting on cadence sensor, but you can press your buttons here, tab through the color display. And what I really want to do is try a turn signal. So up here, it does indicate that the signal's on. And check it out, bro. We got turn signals up front on this bike. Turn on the other one, so it cancels the left one automatically. So pretty sweet. Signals are high up and very visible in the front. And around back, also have signals back here. Got one left and right. When you grab the brake lever, you get a brake light, also indicating up on the dash. And of course, it does have a light down here, also metal fenders. Fairly bright light, as we can see it shining on the wired box. And of course, you get your light on the back. Also, the brake light works. And of course, this is a class 2 electric bike, 20 mile an hour, 750 watts. You have to unlock this thing on your own if you want. Just hold down the M button, get on in here, and you got all kind of settings to play with, which is the super awesome part about these bikes. So just because they are crazy powerful doesn't mean you have to like go crazy on them. It does have cruise control. In the advanced settings, you can go to max speed. So yeah, 20 kilometers an hour is 20 miles an hour. It's on class 2. We could put it on unlimited. And you can also switch between torque sensor and cadence sensor. You can choose how many pedal assist levels you have. And for each of the pedal assist levels, you can actually get in here and set how strong you want them to be. So pedal assist 1 is only 15%. We got pedal assist 5 on 60% currently. You can either enable or disable the throttle. And you can also choose if you want the throttle to follow your pedal assist level or just give you full juice with throttle. Default setting is throttle follow on. Throttle percentage, we got it at 100%. That's what I'm talking about. Start strength, the strongest. Oh, okay. It used to be 0 was like the strongest and 3 was the weakest. Now it's a little more refined looking. Hold on appears to be the strongest one, and then there's fast, smooth, and smoothest. We'll just keep it on the default of fast. That's a nice touch. I love to see this. Torque tuning, so nice. It looks like we can do least sensitive is 1 and most sensitive is 9. So I'm guessing that would be the torque sensor sensitivity, essentially. We'll just leave it on default and kind of play with some of this stuff when we actually ride this thing. So you can change the brightness of the display, check your hardware version. All good stuff. Just want to give you guys a thorough breakdown of the new bike here. So it looks good to me, bro. So let's go ahead and throw it on unlimited. Max speed is 99 kilometers an hour, which translates to about 62 miles an hour, I believe. Okay, so I haven't even tested this bike. I haven't even touched the throttle one single time yet. Let's just give it a full rip and see what happens. Oh my goodness. All right, dudes, let's get on the wire, Raven, and run it through the tail-happy circuit. And of course, I'll track our official range on the dual battery system. And one thing I do want to point out is the Raven does have a lot more suspension travel on the front compared to the Scout. And yes, the Viper review will be coming soon. And of course, we do have the batteries topped off to 100%. And this bike does ship as a class 2 e-bike, so we're gonna start it out this way, and then we'll unlock it here in a few. So let's see how rideable this thing is before you unlock it. And real quick in the elevator here, dang, yeah, I wanted to take a look at the brightness of the turn signals. Turn on the lights, pretty bright lights all around. Obviously the footprint of this bike is smaller compared to like a Scout. And let's go ahead and give it a rip up the 20% grade before we even unlock it. So this is with the bike still locked. We'll throw it on 5 and just kind of, oh yeah, so this thing, it lets you really, really dial the power down. To be quite gentle here. So with the bike fully locked, it just gives us like a 500 watts. So that's chill, but I'm not trying to unalive myself right away. After we unlock this thing, obviously it's gonna be able to absolutely destroy the 20% grade. With the bike fully locked here, you can just, you know, get on it in the class 2 mode and give it full throttle. It just gives you like 580 watts roughly, 600 watts. So like for as rowdy as this bike can get, like you could put this thing in chill mode, class 2 mode. Anybody could get on this bike and ride this bike. no problem at all. This is like not unsafe when it's, you know, just in the class 2 chill mode. And I think that is really important to point out, because after you unlock this bike, these wired bikes are just absolutely unhinged, dude. Like the amount of torque and power you get with the Samsung 50S high discharge battery cells in these things. So, you know, you can see that screen right through there, yep, with the polarized shades. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking to get like long range and just chill, you could do that. But, you know, probably that's not the reason why you're buying this bike. And even at 6'5", riding this bike, you know, it's not like I'm getting the full pedal stroke on it. But I feel comfortable on this bike. This bike does not feel huge by any means. And with those batteries now lower down with our shorter wheels on this compared to like the Scout and the Warrior and the Predator, the 20-inch wheels brings all that weight lower down to the ground. So everything is, you know, lower center of mass, and you know, it just really doesn't feel like a heavy bike. Let's just do one more rip on class 2 just for the heck of it. It's like, dude, literally any single person in the world could get on this. You could give this bike to your great grandma and she could ride it when it's in class 2 mode. And the cadence is like cool on gear 7, just chilling at, you know, about 17 miles an hour here. And of course you can hear just a little bit of that signature wired Pentac geared hub motor with the steel reinforced gears. All right, enough of that boring stuff though. Let's go to the class setting and change it to, let's try 3 and see what happens. Then we'll go to unlimited soon. And then of course we have to mess with the start strength, because we're on fast and not the hold on, which I believe hold on would be like the strongest. And the torque tuning is on 5 out of 9 possible. All right, so class 3, yeah, I mean, that's the way it works. No throttle on class 3, right? Well, let's get rolling here. And even on cadence sensor, pedal assist 5, I mean, this feels pretty similar to the class 2 mode to me, except basically the throttle doesn't work, but giving basically roughly about the same amount of power, showing about 500 watts. All right, enough of this boring crap, dude. I just got to show you that this bike doesn't have to be absolutely insane. Okay, so we'll go to class setting now and then just put it into unlimited mode, right? And still we have the start strength. Oh, okay, that put it onto hold on. So we can make it launch less hard. We'll try that, but let's just try it on the hold on setting. I'm pretty excited. I actually don't know if I'm ready for this or not, but we'll try and ease on the throttle. Okay, oh my goodness, yep, that front wheel is ready to come right off. Yes, sir, that front wheel is lifting off the ground like a freaking rocket, bro. So that's why we didn't unlock it from the start at the 20% grade. Let's try that again. Oh yeah. So power wheelies, no problem. At 20, it just like, it'll lift the front wheel off the ground. Oh buddy, oh my goodness. Yeah, that front end just wants to lift. It's so light on the front. It's so much torque. So that is a very strong takeoff when it's on the hold on setting. We'll try the smoother ones here in a little bit. The shorter 20-inch wheels, they give you stronger acceleration at the trade-off of less top speed. So the wired Scout, the wired Predator, you might get a higher speed on those ones, even though they're basically the same drivetrain essentially. But let's try a top speed run. I'll just flip my blinker on here. And these blinkers, they're actually pretty bright. Like you can see it flashing right in front of your face. Top speed time, baby. But honestly, I don't even think you could get like a accurate, like absolute launch on this thing, because it'll just loop out. Like you can't full throttle this thing when it's fully unlocked from a stop, I don't think. But I'm gonna like shift my weight forward as we take off here and see what I can do. 200-pound rider, ready, go! Nope. That's insane, dude. Like the amount of torque this gives you is just crazy. Whenever you're riding this bike, keep your fingers on the brake levers. Be ready to pull power away from that motor and bring that front end down. I'm like scared. All right, I'm just gonna try and lean my weight forward and go. Okay, 20, 30, 40, and my GPS is right there. Bike feels stable, and you can feel like the speed and power kind of tapers off at about 48. Let me get aerodynamic, and it's just like, yeah, we're just right at about 40, 48 or so is about the top speed. So this is significantly different than like the Scout and the Warrior. I mean, you just get an absolutely absurd amount of torque off the line, and this whole thing, the gear ratios on it give you like all the power in like the first 30 miles an hour. If you're going like 30 and you floor it, like it's not gonna lift the front end on you at 30. Oh, time to try the brakes out. So this is a very, very, very exciting, lively bike from about in that 0 to 30 mile an hour range, which is truthfully, I mean, probably where 90% of your riding time is spent, right? It's all about trying to keep that front end down though, off the line. Then, yeah, I mean, we can just take everybody off the line. There's a whole row of cars behind me, and then they catch you at about 40. Going into headwind, yeah, this thing can hold top speed, no problem. So a lot of times when I'm headed towards the beach, some of these bikes have a hard time hitting top speed going into headwind because we have a strong headwind coming at us right now. It's showing over 5,000 watts and completely upright going into headwind, holds 45.5, 46. That is a very strong wind. So top speed on this one is like 46. Doesn't matter if you got a tailwind or a headwind. It pulls the same regardless of wind. Plenty of speed to hang with traffic and actually overtake most traffic. But I'd say, you know, one of the biggest things about this bike is like once you come to a stop, it's like you're not like wrestling the bike. Like the whole thing is just like so low to the ground. It's like you can reach the ground easily. And I haven't pedaled this thing at all, but I'm just now noticing on the cadence sensor, you can put it on power level 1 and you still get access to all the power at the throttle. Whoa, that was dumb, I shouldn't do that. But if you start pedaling, it just gives you like just 700 watts. So that's like an excellent way to control your power. You know, you can throw it on cadence sensor power level 1 and have, you know, just like normal e-bike level of power pedaling it. But you still got all that juice with the throttle. And we're gonna experiment with the takeoff speeds here in a minute. I just wanna ride it off-road just for a minute. So it doesn't have the full suspension on it, D&M air shock, similar to what we've seen on all the other wired bikes basically in recent times. The swing arm is a little bit different, a little shorter to accommodate the 20-inch tire, I noticed, and then the front suspension has like way more travel compared to the 26-inch tire bikes. So, you know, it feels pretty solid riding it off-road here. You feel that whole rear end having travel on the suspension. It feels, you know, it feels like a lot of weight going on back there, obviously, because it's a hub drive motor with a giant motor in that hub, and then you got that giant battery pack on the rear too, all on the swing arm. So the D&M shock is nice. It does have a lot of weight to contend with swinging up and down on that swing arm. So obviously, you know, this is going to be largely a street riding kind of bike, I would think. Let's try and hit this. I'm just like scared to give it too much throttle because the amount of power on tap here, the amount of torque on tap on this bike is just absolutely outrageous, dude. This is easily the highest torque feeling, oh my goodness, the highest torque feeling pedal electric bicycle I've ever tried in my life, hands down. Like, oh my God, dude, that's crazy. Like, I could see this just being so much fun, just power wheeling at about like, you know, 10 miles an hour, going about 10, just get on that throttle. But dude, this is not like a newbie kind of thing, bro. Like, oh my God. It is like outrageously fun, but you could get yourself into a world of trouble with the amount of torque and how quickly it hits on this bike. You know, if you're not ready for it or you're a newbie. But it's an extremely exciting bike. Let's see about getting some wheel spin here. Oh yeah. It spun a little bit until I kicked the sand out of the way and then it just hooked right up and it was like ready to buck me off the back. All right, so we're gonna get in the advanced settings and we're gonna go to the start strength. So it's been on the strongest start strength basically ever since I put it on unlocked. Let's put it on smoothest because I'm curious, you know, like this is gonna be, I would say probably smoothest, right? And make it feel a little bit more tamed. All right, so we're in the unlocked mode, smoothest power setting. Oh my goodness, and it still rips pretty good, but it's like you get more travel in the throttle, I feel like. Yeah, it's smoother, but it's still quite a lot of power there. Okay, yeah, it's definitely smoother, but you can feel like you're still getting access to, you know, it's not on grandma mode or anything. This isn't like put it on class 2 or class 3. Like, yeah, it's definitely smoother. So truthfully, I feel like for most riding scenarios, you're gonna probably not want to have this thing on the hold on setting. You're probably gonna want to be down on something a little smoother because yeah, even on smoothest here, check it out. It's like, okay, it didn't power wheelie that time, but you can feel that front end's like right on the verge of picking up on the smoothest setting. As far as like wobble or something, there is absolutely no wobble on this bike at all. The steering does feel like a little heavy, I guess you could say. It's got a steering damper on there, I believe. But right away, I just feel like riding this thing on the smoothest power setting is really probably the way to roll. If you're getting this bike and just, you know, getting on it and not trying to unalive yourself. Yeah, that's on smoothest, bro. It's like ready to loop out. One other thing about this bike we do need to test, of course, that is the drive mode. We're gonna put on torque sensor and we'll leave it on hold on. And then the torque tuning will start on 5. And let's just try this torque sensor out. So now we have it on torque sensor, gear number 7 here, which is good for high speed pedaling. And on 1, yeah, it's only giving me about 70. It really makes you work for it when the torque tuning is on 5. Yeah, it really makes you work for it when torque tuning's on 5. Let's change the torque tuning. Put the torque tuning to 9, the most sensitive. Oh yeah, that gives you the power way easier when you have the torque tuning on 9 on pedal assist 1. So with the torque sensor, it gives you power in proportion to how hard you're pressing on the pedals. And it feels like it's improved over what I tried on the Scout and the Warrior and the Predator. Yeah, it does have a proper torque sensor. You can throw it on pedal assist 2 or 3, makes it a little bit easier how much power you're getting. Just throw it on pedal assist 5 on the torque sensor. Yeah, so the torque sensor gives you power in proportion to how hard you press. And yeah, on the, this is actually kind of fun riding on torque tuning 9, pedal assist 5. Because I'm not using throttle now, I'm just using the pedal assist sensor. So it's got a torque sensor on this thing too. On this bike, you know, I personally prefer the cadence sensor on the wired bikes because the way they have them dialed in to where, you know, pedal assist 1, it just gives you a smooth, consistent level of power no matter how fast you're rotating your legs. Torque sensor's good too, it works. But truthfully speaking too, like this, I don't want to do anything other than use the throttle on a bike like this. So I'm just going to get back in the drive mode here, switch this thing back over to cadence sensor. Yeah, honestly, this is the way to do it. Just keep it on like cadence sensor 1, and then like, you know, if you rotate the pedals, like you're never going to get like a crazy amount of power. And you can even get in and change the 700 watts down to even lower. Actually, let's do that. So you gotta just love the menus on this, how they allow you to get in and change all this stuff. You can even change it to more than 5 levels if you want. So pedal assist percentage, we're gonna change it from 15 down to 5% on pedal assist 1 on cadence sensor. So now it's like we have all the power in the world on tap. Oh, that's great. Yeah, now we can have it on pedal assist 1 that only gives us like 200 watts. So like, you're never gonna get surprised with power when you have it on pedal assist 1, but you still got the throttle ready to rock and roll.
You got here today.
New toy?
Tired. Okay, well that's easier to get on.
Yeah, with the step through.
Yeah, or I'll go this way.
Yeah, just easy on the throttle, man. Easy on the throttle.
Okay.
Keep a finger on the brake lever if you need it.
Easy on the throttle.
So Fabian from Santa Monica Close Up. Looks like Fabian's having fun.
Wow, that was insane. Monster.
Yeah. Did you
so
feel?
Much torque. So much torque.
Yeah, no kidding. Did you feel comfortable with the throttle?
I did feel comfortable with the throttle. I mean, I'm pretty good with, you know,
yeah,
motorcycles all my life.
I would like to put you on it with the throttle fully unlocked to give you the strongest wow factor, but I don't want to send you to the emergency room if there's a little mishap with it.
Thanks for letting me ride it. That was awesome. I'd definitely be curious to see how it does. on the sand.
All right, let's give this thing a rip on the sand, get a little bit of a roll out here, and pull off here. Full throttle. Yeah, I mean, no problem at all on the torque. I can feel the tires are like a little bit, you know, they're not gripping in as well as a knobby tread tire would, but absolutely ripping out here. No problem on the soft sand, and as I get down here, just gets easier and easier. So the 26-inch tires, you know, on like the Predator and the Scout, they're gonna be a little better for like rolling over stuff, including sand. Basically, the smaller the tire gets, the more it's gonna kind of struggle doing stuff like this. But the shorter wheels, they have more acceleration, essentially more force down to the ground. The nice part is on dirt, like it doesn't grip in quite as aggressively, so you get a little wheel spin when you hit the throttle, and it's not gonna just lift the front end on you. It's like you could bring it down to a pretty slow speed here, and it just spins the back tire instead of lifting the front up. Man, the thing with these wired bikes, sure, you know, they make a little bit of noise. I like the noise they make personally. And yeah, they can be a little bit unhinged when you completely unlock all the power on the throttle. But truly, there really is nothing else out there with pedals like wired bikes, man. The Samsung 50 SLs, the Hentac motor, the 65 amp Patriot controller. I mean, these things just pull like nothing else. Like straight up this hill, just ripping, dude. Throttle is pulling us right through the soft sand. It sounds like a little RC car ripping through the sand. Yeah, man, this thing is just ripping like right about 5,000 watts there. There's really not much more fun on two wheels with pedals than a wired bike, bro. Let's actually listen to it in a tunnel. So if you're new here, the Cali Incline is that 12% grade that takes us up 85 feet. So we're gonna take it on this side of the Cali Incline, and we'll start from our normal place here. So the hardest part about this is gonna be getting a smooth start. It's gonna be like basically impossible to do this, but ready, go. All right, there we go, full throttle. And going up 10 seconds, we're at about 35. And it's basically gonna reach top speed going up the Cali Incline. It's about 43, and we might as well just do the brake test up here. Oh my God. So big brakes on this thing. I'm not trying to crash it into the wall today. Oh yeah, this thing, it's got the street tread on these tires. Coming in pretty hot here. We'll give it a bit of a brake test at about 30. I didn't even pull them all the way. But these tires, they stick real good. This thing stops real good. Good brakes. Now they are bicycle brakes, so just keep that in mind if you're going 50 and you need to come to a stop. I feel like I'm starting to get decent at like launching this thing. You really got to get up like forward on the bars, kind of like. Oh. All right, bros, halfway through this ride, we're sitting at 76%. We're gonna head on home, check the final range, share my final thoughts on the Wired Raven along the way. So list price on this bike is $2,799. If you use the link below the video or scan the QR code up on the screen, it'll save you $100 off your order and also help support these reviews. And of course, I greatly appreciate your support. There is no sort of discount code you need to enter. Just click on the link and it'll automatically activate the discount code. So my final thoughts on this bike, dude, I mean, basically, if you're looking for basically the craziest 20 by 4 inch fat tire e-bike you could possibly buy on the market right now, besides, well, maybe the Viper, because the Viper is the dual motor version of this. This thing has absolutely tremendous amounts of torque. Now, you know, compared to like the Scout or the Warrior, you are trading off a little bit of that top end speed. So, you know, this one's not hitting quite as high of a top speed as the Scout would, but you're getting way more torque due to those shorter wheels. And you know, this thing's got the Samsung high discharge battery cells, so you know, if you're thinking about any other sort of 20 by 4 inch fat tire mini electric bicycle. This is the absolute pinnacle of torque and performance. And as for as crazy as the power can be, you can get in the settings and dial it down. So if you're looking for the most thrilling 20 by 4 inch fat tire e-bike on the market, single motor 20 by 4 inch fat tire e-bike, look no further than the Wired Raven. Let's head on home, see where we are on range. Still cooks, that motor screams. We got the turn signals, got a little bit of lane splitting all the way home probably. Got my signals and everything. You know, I'm just thinking, sure, the Scout goes faster, but this is fast enough, man. Oh, we got highway patrol, better slow down. Flip a blinker on, merge on over a couple lanes here, and it feels stable at speed, by the way. All right, bro, just wrapping up the route, sitting at 62% remaining after 19.42 miles of riding, hour and a half ride time, and we averaged 13 miles an hour, so 63%. That, you know, we were just absolutely ripping on it, beating the absolute living crap out of this thing today. No pedaling, 200-pound rider, fully unlocked. So Wired Raven, absolutely thrilling high-power electric bike. If you do want to grab one, they are still available for this batch. Grab one before they're gone. Use that link down below. It'll save you $100 and also support these reviews. So thanks for watching the review. Catch you guys next time.